Welcome back to another weekend with me. And it wouldn't be right if we didn't start off in traffic. I feel like the guy in Malibu's Most Wanted.
Hey yo, traffic, looking for my chapstick, feeling kinda car sick. There's a Ford Maverick.
I literally love that movie. Anyways, we're headed to my sister's. She requested Jamaican food, which is rare, and this is actually my specialty. So she asked, and I'm going to deliver. Her specific request was rice and peas and brown stew chicken. So we're going to start off with the peas. So I use these Goya red dry kidney beans. Yes, that matters. The brand doesn't, but dry kidney does. It just comes out different. I do not like to use the can. So I'm going to rinse them off really good, and you're going to just remove any of the broken beans or the ones that are just bad. And I don't know how to describe it, but you'll know when you see a bad bean. So to some boiling water, you're going to add a couple bulbs of garlic, and then I add some pimento seeds. So in America, they're called allspice seeds. I don't know, it's just called allspice, but in Jamaica, it's pimento seeds. That's all I'm going to add to the pot for right now. We're going to add the beans because this is going to cook for a while. You want the beans to soften. I'm also teaching my sister how to make this, so you're going to see her pop in a few times. So I let that kind of come to a boil, and it's going to do its thing. She bought 2 whole chickens and had the butcher cut it up. So this is what it looked like. So there's these big ass breasts in here, and I'm like, this is going to take 7 years to cook. We don't have that kind of time. So I decided to try to cut it. It wasn't going to go through the bone. So I took the sharpener for the knife and I just tipped it, tapped it a little bit until it was able to break through that bone. And so I only think she had 2 or 3 breasts in here. She had took one out. That's what it was. There's supposed to be 4 sides, but she took one out because she's going to make something else. So I did 2.5 because she ended up saving the rest of this one for something else. You're going to cut a lime, and you're going to clean this chicken. I don't know what the deal is with people that don't believe in cleaning chicken. No person in my family doesn't clean the chicken. Nobody that I know personally in my life doesn't clean the chicken. I swear you guys are like rage baiting because why are you not cleaning the chicken? Why are you not cleaning everything before you cook it? You wash your hands, don't you? So I don't know. So yes, you are going to clean this chicken. Okay, so you're going to strain it, and now I'm going to season it. I'm going to do dry seasonings first and then wet seasonings. If you've been following me for a while, then you know I just have a method that I do things. So I start off with seasoning salt, garlic powder, black pepper, and then I did some paprika. And then you're just going to coat that over all the chicken and make sure it's just evenly distributed. Sometimes I get it under the skin, so it adds extra flavor, all that good stuff. Then you're going to go on with the wet seasoning. So I start off with some fish and meat. I do some kitchen bouquet, which is some browning. You do not need a lot. And then I go in with some oyster sauce. You also don't need a lot of this. And then the mushroom soy sauce. I put a little bit more of this, and I use this also for some browning. And then soy sauce, you don't need a lot. That's what it looked like, and you're going to mix it in really well. This is when I kind of rub it into the chicken, get it in between any skin that's available. I know I don't have on gloves. She did not have gloves at the moment, and a girl's had to do what a girl's got to do. This is my family, and they be I. So this is what the chicken looked like, and you're going to set that aside to let it marinate, and then you're going to move on to chopping up your veggies. So I'm going to do green, red, yellow, and an onion. And I'm also going to cut out some other stuff later. There's no need to use the whole bell pepper because you're using multiple colors. So I'm just going to cut a slither off of each. And I did cut a little bit more off of the green bell pepper, which I'll show you guys later. So you're just going to slice those up. I like to leave them in slithers. Some people like to cube them. That is a personal preference. I like the way that this cooks down better. And to me, this looks better overall. Then you're gonna slice half of an onion. I did not use that whole onion. I just used half. So me and my sister, honestly, we used to live together for a very short time in our adulthood when my niece was a little itty bitty baby, and that's her in the background. So when we're together, we be catching up on some tea. It's very rare that we get to just spend alone time like this, because she lives in the city and I live in the valley and life just be lifing. So you're gonna put basically those bell peppers, onions in there, set that aside, mix it up. Then you're gonna go on to adding that extra piece of green bell pepper into the rice and peas. I'm gonna add some thyme, and I'm gonna add a habanero pepper. I'm gonna add a little razzle dazzle with an extra little thyme, sprinkle that in there, and you're gonna mix it up. I would add some scallion, aka green onion, but we didn't get any. I'm gonna add a little bit of water into that bell pepper just to give it a little bit of weight. That way it can really cook down in there. I know it sounds weird, but that adds so much flavor. I never understood it. My mother-in-law had to put me on. So once that you're going to let that simmer for a little bit, cook down, you're going to move on to frying this chicken. So you're going to make sure your oil's extra hot. And I kind of use a high temperature because we're not cooking the chicken in this oil. We're literally just browning it. So I shake all of the onions and the bell peppers off, and I just put the chicken in here, and you're just going to fry it for a few minutes on each side until it gets a really nice brown color, aka brown stew chicken. Anyways, so after a few minutes of doing each side, you're gonna flip, and you can see that it got that nice brown color. That is what you're looking for. I think I only cooked this on like a medium high for like 5 minutes on each side, and then you're just gonna take it out and put it to the side because you're going to put it back in the pot later after you remove some of the oil. So as you can see, I just got the same brown color on the other side of each piece of chicken. So you're just going to take it out, put it to the side. I put it in a bowl, and then you just batch it out until you're completely done with all the chicken. I try not to like overstuff the pot because then it just, to me, takes longer and it doesn't really get that nice pretty brown color. So I'm going to take some of the oil out of the pot because this was the only pot that she had that was big enough to hold all the chicken. So I'm pouring the oil out, half of the oil in her sink, but she don't gotta know that, okay? So that's how much oil I left in the pot, and then I just add back in all of that brown chicken. And this is when I had to like play Tetris. I was getting nervous at this point because I'm like, how am I going to get all this chicken in this pot, plus water, plus the onions and the bell pepper, and it's going to have to cook evenly, and I can't break it apart. Whatever. So I tossed the rest of that kind of like, I guess, grease and all that other stuff that came off of the chicken after it was cooked. I added some water, and I'm going to let that come to a boil. Meanwhile, I'm going to add some coconut milk over to my beans and let that cook for a little bit before you add in the rice. So I used a whole can of coconut milk. You can use whatever can you want. I think I ended up using a Trader Joe's can. Don't sleep on Trader Joe's. This is what the chicken ended up looking like after about like 10 minutes. And so I'm going to add in the onions and the bell peppers. And then I'm also going to add in some garlic and some habanero. You don't have to use a whole lot of habanero because it's really, really spicy. So if you don't like spice, you can kind of skip over that step because it definitely adds a nice little kick to it. Then, of course, my dad, he's like my other son. He wants to stir the pot. I'm like, go ahead, boy, just stir it. So while that's cooking, we're going to add the rice over to my rice and peas. So again, I'm teaching my sister, and my dad's kind of just jumping in and learning little pieces by pieces. So I'm showing her basically how I do not measure rice, but I'm trying to measure it for her because she works better with measurements until she's confident in just eyeballing it. So this just got really interesting. And then my dad, he's just so cute, so sweet. He saw your girl struggling, and he just decided to fix my sleeve. He's really like the sweetest guy ever. So you're gonna rinse that rice out. I personally like to take the bell pepper out before I cook the rice and peas. So you're gonna give it a nice stir. You're gonna remove the bell pepper. I leave the habanero pepper in, and I leave the thyme in, and then you're gonna add in your rice, give that a nice stir, and then you're gonna cover it until, and you use your method. However you cook your rice, that is the method that you use for that. Just, everybody has their own method. I'm not here to argue with you. So you're going to stir this periodically, come back and forth, and then halfway through, you're going to add in some ketchup. That's going to thicken this whole thing up. and it's going to basically make the gravy because you're going to let that cook down a little bit. As you can see, some of this chicken's already falling off the bone. By the grace of God, this pot worked out. I was kind of scared because I like a deeper pot for this because it really just, it's like a stew, like, you know, but this, it actually worked. So 0 complaints. So after everything finished cooking, this was the rice and peas. It came out nice and fluffy. I removed the thyme and the pepper, and it was nice and fluffy. It came out actually perfect. I was actually really happy with this. Rice sometimes is a hit or miss for me. I don't know how. I know how to make all these different things, and I know how to cook rice. This was the chicken. And honestly, everything smelled so good. It looked so good. Everybody was happy. And I don't know why I still get nervous cooking for my own family. This was the plate. We said our grace. We ate the food and we dipped out. On Sundays in this household, we do hair. So I currently have a deep conditioner in my hair. Hudson just got out of his bath with his deep conditioner. I'm going to actually braid his hair this week because you ready to do your hair?
No.
Yes, it's time. I'm gonna braid his hair this week because last week he cried every morning when it was time to do his hair, and I don't have the energy for that early in the morning. So, we're getting braids. We're getting braids that are gonna last him a full week. Yeah. Come on, little boy. It's about that time. This is the deep conditioner that I used. It's a conditioning balm by Biolage. It not only does it smell good, it literally is a conditioning balm. Like, my hair could be fried, and if I do this, works. Right now, I ran out of all my conditioner for some reason. I don't know. And this is the only thing I found in my cabinet. So this is what I'm gonna end up putting in his hair. And then I kind of go with some mousse and like a little bit of gel. I don't really use gel, so I'm gonna use jam because his hair kind of drinks it up instead of it like flaking. I don't know. You want straight backs or sideways? You want them straight back or sideways?
Power.
I actually got to give my boy his credit because he actually does pretty good when it's time to do his hair. He is just a nagger, and he will talk your ears till they bleed. You want them straight back or like sideways?
Here.
Sideways? Okay. I also can appreciate that he knows what he wants and he has no problem letting you know. So as a mom, like, I didn't really have that space to tell my mom, like, I don't want this. I don't want that. This is what I want. So I try to allow him that. Like, if he doesn't like something, if it's not completely just like, all right, now, like, I try my best to let him do it.
Just leave me alone.
What? Stop, please, man. He also has a freedom to voice how he feels that I never had. And honestly, that's my battle right now as a mom. This, like, that fine line of, like, you're expressing yourself and, like, all right, you getting disrespectful. Like, you know, like, leave me alone is absolutely diabolical. But I know that I'm also in his head. And I know that he doesn't necessarily love that. So I'm like, cut my boy some slack. He didn't really mean leave me alone. He just meant, like, all right now, you know? This whole process, I think we got through it in about 30 minutes from, like, the time that he stood there for me to, like, part and braid. He does pretty good. I am not a hard braider. I've braided, like, other kids' hair and, like, my sister's kids and stuff like that. And they prefer me to braid over their parents because I have a soft hand. Like, I don't know. I can get a neat braid without it being super tight. I'm just getting started, baby.
No. Jasmine, sing.
One down, a few more to go. Poor baby. I felt so bad because he was probably already tired of standing there, and we were just one braid in. But positive thoughts. Like, we're just gonna find a positive in everything. I realize that works with him. Like, when he's like struggling with something, like, I'll just find a positive and I'll just super hyper focus on that. Like, oh my God, you're gonna look so cute. Oh my God, it's gonna be so fun. Like, oh my God, once you do this, we can go do this. Or once you do this, you're done and you ain't gotta worry about it. And so how I got him to kind of like get me to braid his hair is like, if you let me braid your hair today, then I don't have to braid your hair for the whole week. Like, only mommy has to brush her hair. Like, Hudson doesn't have to brush his hair. And so he was like, okay, you got to work the system. You got to know how to get these kids. So you're going to see him go through a couple different emotions because he was getting over it. And I was just trying to move as fast as I can. So I wasn't even super taking my time with the parts and all that other stuff like that. I was just getting through his head. I just needed some braids in his hair so my baby doesn't look homeless throughout the whole week. But even though he was getting frustrated, he was getting upset, he still did really well. The back of his hair is thicker than the front, so he always has a tougher time back there because I do have to kind of like get in there, you know what I mean? But I mean, for 3 going on 4, standing here for 30 minutes without moving is actually, it's pretty good. I got to give my boy his credit. His teacher asked me to braid her son's hair. He is a lot older, but I'm like nervous. It's like when you cook for somebody. Like, I know Hudson's hair. Like, like if I gotta like, move his head a little firm on this side, I can. Like, I can't do that to somebody else's kid. Like, what's his hair texture? Like, is he gonna sit there the whole time? Is he tender-headed? Like, I don't know. I'm nervous. I don't know. I told her yes, but now I'm like, should I have told her yes? I don't know. So we're going to see. I'm obviously not going to record it, but I'll let you guys know how it goes. He's a lot older. His hair's a lot thicker. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm scared. And this, my friend, is where homeboy started to lose it. I had to restart this same braid a couple times, and he just was not happy.
Here in the back.
Hold on, baby. One more second. One more second, I promise. Count to 5.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, there you go.
Yay. I count.
He was really getting over it. I don't think that he likes to hold his head down for that long period of time.
I'm gonna count, Mommy.
Okay, hold on.
1.
Hold on, I don't know how long it's gonna take me yet.
And then I can count. Yeah.
Hold on, I'll let you know when to start. You ready? You ready to start counting?
Yeah.
Okay. Count to
1,
5.
2, 3, 4.
But you didn't count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
There you go.
Yeah.
And in case you were wondering, yes, he did talk this entire time.
He got the stray dots.
You like Jamaican food?
No, I like Jamaican food. I like to make a snack.
Yeah. Are you Jamaican?
Are you done?
Yeah, almost. Are you Jamaican?
Yeah.
And this is how my boy came out 30 minutes later. Parts aren't crispy, but we did what we did. I did not know what to do with this little last piece, so I kind of just put it over to the side. And he loved it. Like your braids?
Yeah.
All right, get out of here.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
And like I said, this week whooped my ass. I did all that cooking on Saturday night, and I wasn't going to do any Sunday cooking. Okay, I did that Sunday cooking on Saturday. So we pulled up to the good old handy dandy Hot Wing Cafe, secured that bag, took my little punk ass home. I get the lemon pepper wings. They're so fire. Get extra ranch. I also get a side of buffalo. They put it in his box. We get Hudson the nuggets, and the curly fries are fire. I tore this down, and I took my punk ass to bed. Until next week, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.